Hello, everybody. Today's episode is about summarizing the purpose of emotions. They exist for us, all of us, for a reason. They are founded in our continued existing. They are caring. Like I've said before, the universe is existing. Living beings are actively existing, which is caring. And the emotions are a big part of our caring existing, like everything else about us in our body, heart beating, breathing, bones, muscles, everything. Emotions are a key part of that. They have a purpose. Every one of our emotions, every one of our emotional responses, all of them together being a part of our continued existing. Like I've talked about, obviously and lately, are the primary emotions of joy, anger, fear, and sadness. Those are emotional categories for all the emotions we ever feel. They all fall somewhere in those categories. All the words we have to describe them, of those four categories, which I call primary emotions, the four primary emotions. So we feel joy when someone wonderful hugs us. We feel fear if someone yells at us. It's frightening. We may then feel anger in response to that, or to fight back. And we feel sadness when someone we love so much, when we lose them somehow. So again, the categories of joy, anger, fear, and sadness, we experience them mostly in relationships, which I'll detail more later. But in every part of our life, every moment of our life, we're having emotional responses in those four categories. This understanding of our four primary emotional responses or categories tells us that's how we operate. That's what's right for us. That's what's normal for us. And there's nothing wrong with us. So if we feel anger, nothing wrong with that. There's something going on to cause that. If we feel sadness, same thing. Something's happened. We've either lost something or lost someone, most importantly, and we feel a great deal of sadness. And if we feel fears because something is going on that is very, very not good for us, or at least somewhat not good for us, depending on how big that emotional response is for fear. But anyway, the point is our emotions are always there. They're always on, like I've talked about recently. They're always happening, and they're there to tell us something. It's just like our senses. We're always smelling and seeing and tasting and touching. We don't typically notice much unless it's a big response, just like emotions. We're always feeling something, joy, anger, fear, and sadness, and then we notice it if it's a bigger thing, a bigger response we're having. The key part of that is to know that we're not only always feeling, but like we're always sensing and everything else. It's just the emotions are there to tell us something. Oh, that's wonderful. I love that. Joy response. That is wonderful. Just want to keep doing that, or whatever. Or fear response. That's really, really bad for me, or bad for me to some extent. And it's scary. It's some sort of bad thing for me. And so I may have a fear response. And then something happens that is like a big fear response, usually, as I've said before, causes secondarily the anger response, and we get annoyed, grumpy, irritable, grouchy, angry. So anyway, all of our emotional responses, our emotions are always on, and they're there to tell us something. Tell us that we should, keep going for that because it's caused a joy response, or avoid that because it causes the fear response, or get out, or whatever, or fight back, the anger response. In the end, and quite clearly in this brief episode, our emotions have a purpose, and that a purpose is caring. It's always, everything about us is caring. The purpose is continuously caring for our continued existing or living, and hopefully living really well, very well. A life full of joy is a life very well, right? So Mostly we're going for things that cause the joy response. Most of the time, that's our goal. And then other times we have to deal with anger, fear, and sadness when things happen. So that's the episode for today. It's all about the purpose of emotions. Again, there's nothing wrong with us. You see, when we're having our emotions, it's everything right about us. And by the way, as you obviously know, some emotions or emotional responses are really good, but they're all good. They're all good for us. It's always, if we didn't have anger, fear, and sadness, we wouldn't live and survive. We would not continue existing. So don't think that anger, fear, and sadness are bad for us. They're not. They're all good for us. It's just the joy is maybe better. It's just we want to live a life more full of joy. Okay, that's it for today, and hope you have a good day. And until the next episode, take care.